So you know how like MSNBC has been struggling with their ratings since Kamala lost the presidential election? That's just the tip of the iceberg. After that, we saw this, confession from Mika and Joe Scarborough, where they were saying that they went to go hang out with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. Like, we wanted to have a conversation with him because we wanted to, try to work together. Conversation could have happened over the phone, but I digress. They got a lot of pushback for that, because of all the things that they said about Trump over the years, calling him Hitler, saying he's a fascist, and all this kind of stuff. People kind of looked at them as hypocritical. They're like, oh, so now you can go hang out with Trump at Mar-a-Lago and have dinner, but all this time you called his supporters names, you called him Hitler. Does that make you Hitler too? You guys get the point. Well, now it appears that there has been something brewing behind the scenes at MSNBC as well, and that is among the staff. It appears that apparently Rachel Maddow is also not happy with Mika and Joe, and she has some things to say. Now, we're going to go ahead and bring this in here. It's a hot mess, ladies and gentlemen. Hot mess. MSNBC descends into civil war as Rachel Maddow turns on Morning Joe hosts for bending the knee to Donald Trump. You can't make this up, fam. It's getting juicy up in here. MSNBC anchor Rachel Maddow is reportedly furious with her Morning Joe colleagues for meeting with Donald Trump after he won. Joe and Mika visited the president over 2 weeks ago at his Mar-a-Lago resort at Palm Beach, Florida, to restart communications and set a new approach. Rachel Maddow, along with other hosts at the troubled liberal network, are calling this move by the married Morning Joe co-hosts opportunistic. You don't think? That's according to a report in the U.S. Sun. The meeting at Mar-a-Lago created a lot of tension in the teams, and many other stars. Oh, is that co-stars? Yeah, many other stars see both Joe and Mika as opportunistic and with very low self-respect and forgetting their values of being journalists with independence and integrity. That's coming from a journalist who worked at MSNBC for 15 years. So you have a former MSNBC, former MSNBC commentator who is spilling the tea. I wonder who this person is. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, the journalist made it clear, who has a problem with Morning Joe pivoting from calling Trump a fascist and an admirer of Adolf Hitler to having a cordial meeting with him to figure out coverage going forward. They have lost a lot of credibility. Rachel Maddow is pissed at them, as are other presenters like Chris Hayes and Ari Melber. Well, you don't say. Not Chris Hayes, not Emoji Guy. I call him Emoji Guy because he looks like the emoji that's smiling with the glasses. He's like, oh, no. They are so frustrated. MSNBC disputed this report, claiming that Maddow hasn't said anything on air or off air about Scarborough or Brzezinski meeting with Trump. Now, I push back on this. How does MSNBC know what she said off air? Are you with her every moment of the day? How do you know what Rachel said off air? You guys got cameras or eyes on Rachel or something? This is a way for MSNBC to try to protect their reputation, right? Any insinuation otherwise is merely speculative, an MSNBC spokesperson told the U.S. Sun. This comes as MSNBC has devolved into utter turmoil following Trump's win. The network's viewership has taken a precipitous drive. Comcast is considering spinning off the cable channel, and Maddow agreed to a $5 million pay cut in her contract. Oh, dear God, how else will she survive? Oh, my. And there's Mika and Joe, of course. And there's Rachel Maddow. It goes on to say, According to Mika, their rationale for reaching out to Trump was to soothe their fears of their viewers who are worried about his cabinet picks. Okay, we know they went out there because of ratings. We're not stupid, you guys. It goes on to say here, the backlash against the two hosts has been immense in the weeks since the controversial meeting, with people on both sides of the aisle ripping them. The View's Ana Navarro slammed the pair, accusing them of changing their stripes because of who's in power and calling the meeting opportunistic. Angela Navarro is one to talk about opportunistic, but we don't need to go there tonight. On the MAGA side, Megyn Kelly had a much sterner reaction and said on her show, I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator, in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase: go fuck yourselves. Oh my God, my God, my God, my gosh. This is funny. You dishonest jokes and faux journalists. What an absurd farce. Which one was insincere? He's Hitler, or now we're going to speak truth to power and find a way of speaking to and working with Donald Trump? Which one was a lie? Mika and Joe dismissed the criticism, saying how it showed there is massive disconnect between social media and the real world. Since Morning Joe suffered a huge dip in the ratings after the Trump meeting. It said still they suffered, sorry. There are also rumblings the pair got together with Trump for more nefarious reasons. Do tell, shall we? An anonymous source told Puck News that they were afraid the incoming president would have allowed Gates as Attorney General to investigate conspiracy theories surrounding the 2001 death of Scarborough's intern. Well. While he was a GOP congressman in Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, looking out for themselves. Are we surprised? I don't think so. An autopsy found that Lori Bolterstein Closetis, I don't know why that's there, hit her head on a desk after collapsing from an undisclosed heart valve irregularity, but Trump called for a fresh investigation into the case. Sources told CNN that since Trump has been feuding with Morning Joe hosts for years, they met with him to hopefully tamp down his rhetoric against them. So you mean to tell me all this time that Mika and Joe were concerned that Donald Trump might try to look into these conspiracy theories about the young woman that worked for Joe Scarborough? You mean to tell me all this time they were calling him all kinds of names as if they just knew he was going to lose? Risky. You can even see it here. Morning Joe had a segment recently. Now, I don't know if they're trying to talk to us or if they're responding to someone like Rachel Maddow. They are still very angry. They are not happy about the fact that people are criticizing them for being hypocrites and opportunists, because they are. They're all opportunists. They're all hypocrites, and they're all getting paid a lot of money. Listen to this. This is an epic meltdown if I've ever seen one, and I feel like this is something that should happen behind closed doors, but here we are.
Two things. You can do two things at the same time. You can say he had fascist rhetoric and still go in and talk to him. Yeah. You know why I do that? To get the read of the man. You know why I went in and talked to Macron? To get the read of the man at a crucial time in EU funding and NATO funding. You know why I went to leaders in the Middle East who were angry at the United States, and I sat there and I listened to them attacking me personally for 45 minutes because of U.S. policy? You know why I do that? To get the read of the leader, to get the read of where the country's going. So I can come back here and talk to you and let you know what the hell is going on.
With context and
give you context, insight, and background. You know everybody we have on the show that's a reporter? It's what they do every day. They speak on background. Two things. You can do two things at the same time. You can say he had fascist rhetoric and still go in and talk to him.
Yeah.
But you were making fun of people that were talking to him. You guys were calling Trump supporters all types of names. Didn't Joe Scarborough say, who raised these people? Didn't he say that? Like, now it's okay to do what you were saying not to do?
You know why I do that? To get the read of the man. You know why I went in and talked to Macron? To get the read of the man at a crucial time in EU funding and NATO funding. You know why I went to leaders in the Middle East who were angry at the United States, and I sat there and I listened to them attacking me personally for 45 minutes because of U.S. policy? You know why I do that? To get the read of the leader, to get the read of where the country's going. So I can
get the read of the leader, to get the read of the man. You told us to stay away from those people. You told your viewers to stay away from Donald Trump and his supporters. It's really interesting that now all of a sudden it's okay for you to do that. That's because you guys lost those ratings and he won that presidency, and you want to make sure that he don't come after your ass. Because see, I wasn't born last night. I already know. So that's what that's really about, ladies and gentlemen. To get the read of the man.
And come back here and talk to you and let you know what the hell is going on.
With context and
why are you yelling at me? You really ain't got to say it this way. This is why I wonder, is he talking to the audience? Or is he talking to someone like Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes? It's like, I came back to tell you what's going on. Like, why are you talking to us like that? Why are you yelling at me?
New context, insight, and background. You know everybody we have on the show that's a reporter? It's what they do every day. They speak on background.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to really, like yell at us that way. Ain't got to do that. Ain't really got to go there. Just keeping it real. You can get your point across without like yelling and pointing fingers at us. That's just all I got to say. MSNBC is chaotic right now. It's not just Morning Joe and Rachel Maddow and people like behind the scenes. It's also even Joy Reid's show. MSNBC's Joy Reid loses roughly half her viewers since the election. Primetime hosts also struggle. MSNBC lost a whopping 53% of its total viewership in primetime since President-elect Trump's victory. But remember, she was the one that told people not to talk to your friends or family members that voted for Donald Trump. When you go home for Thanksgiving, she said, don't talk to those people. Remove those people from your life. And people actually listen to this woman. You guys are going to remove people that you've known your whole life from what Joy Reid is telling you, someone that you've never known, you've never met before at all, right? So the readout has shed 47% of its total audience, averaging just 759,000 viewers after averaging 1.4 million throughout the 2024 leading up to the election. She even lost more viewers among advertiser coveted demographic ages 25 to 54, losing a whopping 52% of them, now averaging only 76,000 key demo viewers. So they're taking a hit. MSNBC is taking a big hit, probably the biggest. CNN is probably after them. But the reality is, folks, it does not look good over there. We're hearing about cat fights behind the scenes that we probably shouldn't really be privy to. Joe and Mika are melting down on camera. I get the read of the man and all of this stuff. They're losing it. Rachel took a pay cut. She's still rich, though. It's crazy. It's wild. It's insane. And I think they're going into panic mode. But this is a plus for independent media. This is a plus for people like myself and for people like you guys that prefer to get an alternative message. This is a plus because this is our time to shine. This is our time to come through and to teach people something that corporate media is not, and to fill in the gaps where corporate media is also not as well. So I see this as a plus for independent media, and I hope you guys do too. Rachel Maddow and them will be fine. She took a $5 million pay cut. She's still a millionaire. Look at it that way. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.